Rain, almost 9 inches of rain falling in just 1 hour. That leads to the mudslides and the flash flooding. It's only got 40-mile-per-hour winds right now, so winds aren't really the issue with this storm. Now, as it moves through this area and through Cuba, there's a chance that it's going to rip it apart even farther, and Erica could become a tropical depression. That being said, we still have some of these tropical storm force conditions that are expected through the Bahamas and into Cuba. Now, we are going to see it perhaps weaken and then most likely re-strengthen into a tropical storm once it moves back into the warmer waters of the Gulf of Mexico. The track of this storm has been shifting farther and farther to the east with every single model run. But look at this cone of uncertainty. There's still the possibility it could track along the west coast now of Florida. But for right now, the estimate is by Wednesday. Good morning, guys. And we've got some rain falling through the middle of the country. And this is going to be the story for the next several days. We have the remnants of Gordon pumping in the moisture and a stalled front. So 27 million people are at risk for flash flooding when you get some of these heavier downpours. And when you factor in that through Sunday, we could see as much as 5 to 7, even up to 10 inches of rain. That could lead to some flooding back through the upper Midwest and through the Ohio River Valley. We're also tracking the tropics. This is Tropical Storm Florence. At one point, it was a Category 4 hurricane. It's weakened a lot because of the conditions it's running into. But as it continues to move westward with water temperatures at 85 to 90 degrees, it will re-strengthen, although the track and intensity are still very uncertain right now. So we'll have to watch it as we get to the middle of the week. And then if we look at the extended version, the ensemble models, a lot of the European models take the storm into the southeastern United States. The American models tend to take it a little bit farther to the north. This is so far out in the future. We're looking at the end of next week, but it is certainly worth watching as we go through the weekend to see what exactly happens as the storm re-intensifies. That's a look at the weather across the country. We'll get to your local forecast. Country, we are going to see a lot of sunshine, which is good news. We're still trying to dry things out with the river flooding ongoing in that part of the U.S. We also have some heavier rain back through Indiana and Ohio through Kentucky. This will fizzle out as it moves eastward, but it's still making for a bad Saturday morning for you out there. In the northwest, we do have some rain and some isolated mountain snow. It's not a lot. It's not too heavy, but it is still moving in and making things cloudy and gray in the northwest. That's a look at the weather across the country now. Yeah, we're starting off with a lot of rain in the northeast and back through the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys, even extending back through Michigan and Indiana. But the middle of the country, you guys are seeing a fantastic day, a mix of sun and clouds, temperatures in the 70s, even some 80s out there. Another storm system making its way into the Pacific Northwest. Not a lot of rain and mountain snow, but it's still very cloudy and very unsettled in that. Reports and hail reports, 90 from the past 3 days. Right now, we have this moisture streaming in off the ocean here, so heavy rain across eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Long Island. That's going to be the case through the next several hours. Then it really shifts the heavy rain up across New England. Combine that with the snow melt, and we could see some flash flooding in that area. So this area of low pressure back through Indiana and Ohio, that's going to slowly move east. So as soon as we clear this cold front and clear the rain off the east coast, this secondary area of low pressure will keep the clouds around. Not a whole lot of rain with it by the time we go into Sunday, but still fairly cloudy with a few. Stronger storms today, especially this area right in through here, south central Nebraska, most of Kansas, most of Oklahoma. The threat today will be for long track tornado, hail, damaging wind gusts, and also the chance of heavy downpours in an area that is already the chance for flash flooding. Here we go on Sunday from Minneapolis over to Green Bay, most of the western Great Lakes stretching down into the Midwest through the afternoon. These will fire up this afternoon, then redevelop Sunday afternoon as this cold front continues to move east. We're also looking for scattered showers and storms elsewhere across the Midwest, the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley, and up into the northeast as well. Could even see some snow, more snow back in the Rockies. That's look.
Sister.
Are you
to break this down for you? I am, because I'm more comfortable at a monitor. The Earth. This
Yes.
is where we live, right? Well, the Earth isn't straight. It's actually tilted at a 23-degree angle, right? So the southern hemisphere all winter long is facing closer to the sun, okay? The sun's like right around here. But as we get to spring and the Earth starts to rotate around a little bit, because of the axis, everything turns. So on the first day of spring, it's when the sun is actually directly over the equator, equal day, equal night. Ideally 12 hours of each. So as this continues to move around and we get into summertime, eventually the northern hemisphere tilts closer to the sun. We get warmer days because we're tilting towards the sun. And it all starts at the vernal equinox.
Yes, Chanel?
So my question is, so at 5:58, is that right in the middle of
when the sun is those wind chills were down in the teens through most of the day, but take a look at where we're at right now. Buffalo, excuse me, it feels like 10 degrees. New York feels like 14 degrees. Saranac Lake feels like 20 below, but it's also 20 below, so not much of a wind chill going on out there. Portland, 15, feels like 3 right now. Now, later on this afternoon, temperatures will be a little bit warmer than yesterday and a lot less windy, so we're not looking at it to be as brutal as it was yesterday, but still 30s and 40s, so a little bit below average for this time of year. But a warm-up is on its way for the weekend. Look at Cleveland. Friday, 70. Through the weekend before it runs into water temperatures around 85 degrees. So that is going to likely strengthen this storm rapidly. The good thing here is when it crosses over Cuba, that will at least maintain the strength of the storm as opposed to it rapidly intensifying or continuing to rapidly intensify. But still, in Cuba, we are looking at the potential for a Category 2 hurricane on Tuesday. Then it's looking like it's going to approach the western coast of Florida, perhaps as a Category 2. But I just want to go through some stats here just to show you it's been 5 years since we have had a landfalling hurricane on the peninsula of Florida. A lot of the storms take a turn to the north and end up hitting in the panhandle. So although the forecast calls for this area here, it's been since 2017 since we've had a hurricane there, and a lot of them do jog a little bit farther to the north. But either way, this takes us into next week. So something we will keep a close eye on now that this storm has developed. Savannah.
All right.
Temperatures around 85 degrees. So that is going to likely strengthen this storm rapidly. The good thing here is when it crosses over Cuba, that will at least maintain the strength of the storm as opposed to it rapidly intensifying or continuing to rapidly intensify. But still, in Cuba, we are looking at the potential for a Category 2 hurricane on Tuesday. Then it's looking like it's going to approach the western coast of Florida, perhaps as a Category 2. But I just want to go through some stats here just to show you it's been 5 years since we have had a landfalling hurricane on the peninsula of Florida. A lot of the storms take a turn to the north and end up hitting in the panhandle. So although the forecast calls for this area here, it's been since 2017 since we've had a hurricane there, and a lot of them do jog a little bit farther to the north. But either way, this takes us into next week. So something now officially into fall here, and man, it feels like it. We're going to struggle to get out of the lower 60s across the Northeast, some areas across upstate New York in the 50s for high temperatures today despite the sunshine. On the flip side of that, we do have record high temperatures likely down along the Gulf Coast, a couple of spotty showers and thunderstorms in the upper Midwest, and also another cold front in the Pacific Northwest that'll keep temperatures in the 60s there too. That's a look at the weather across the country. We'll get to your local forecast. Struggle to get out of the lower 60s across the Northeast, some areas across upstate New York in the 50s for high temperatures today despite the sunshine. On the flip side of that, we do have record high temperatures likely down along the Gulf Coast, a couple of spotty showers and thunderstorms in the upper Midwest, and we are going to see some trouble spots today. You can see these two areas in orange. That does include Minneapolis, Green Bay, and Chicago, where we could see some stronger storms later on today. Winds over 65 miles per hour, damaging hail an inch or larger. Isolated tornadoes are possible. Now, tomorrow, it's like those two areas merge and expand a bit. So we're looking for severe storms tomorrow from Montana stretching all the way into the interior mid-Atlantic. And it's all this frontal system. Again, out ahead of it, it's warm, it's humid. You have a stationary front that's going to trigger the could be severe. And then tomorrow, we are looking for some of these severe storms to impact areas like Ohio through Pennsylvania and most likely reaching the East Coast later at night, like after 9 o'clock or so. So today, the areas where we'll see troubles at the airports would be Minneapolis and Chicago, especially if some of those pop-up thunderstorms develop right over those cities. In the southeast, we'll also have your run-of-the-mill summertime thunderstorms. That could create some isolated delays. Then tomorrow, while I do think we will get those storms on the East Coast, they should happen later, like after dark. So that should help at least ease some of the troubles in the Northeast. It's not like it's going to happen right during the height of travel, I'd say, in Boston, New York, Philly, and Washington. Although Detroit, even back into Chicago, we could see some delays at the airports tomorrow. Chanel.
Rest of the national forecast.
Let's take a look at some awesome video we have. This was events at that point, but really just such a nice show. Those storms have cleared out of Texas. Now we're watching Kansas and areas like eastern Arkansas and into western Tennessee. Also just want to point out this area off the coast of the Carolinas. This could become a tropical system. It would be named Arthur, but then it would move out to
You did. I did not.
Skittles or candy corn?